gonna see if I can pull it up on my phone so I can answer some questions. Obviously, I'm not at home. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Thanks for joining me. I don't have Melinda here to read the questions to me, read the comments. Thanks for joining me. So I have it up on my phone here. Obviously, I'm not at home. I'm at Oak Ridge Arena in, what city are we in? Newark, England. Is that the correct way to say it? Newark, UK? So I am definitely out of my element. We ate at a restaurant last night, and I thought we were going to have to go find an interpreter so we could order our meal. It was very different. So it's good being able to talk to you. It is actually 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, and I appreciate everybody for being here. This is the arena that we'll have the clinic in tomorrow. We'll have a clinic tomorrow and Saturday. Actually have a pretty big Western following here, and have some reining trainers that train out of this clinic. So it's going to be different. I feel like it's like winter time at home, so it's a little bit cooler here. But I won't shiver too bad. I hope I'll survive. Very pretty area. I've never been to Europe before. This is my first time in the UK, and really enjoying it over here. Carly, welcome to Europe. 1 hour of time difference with me in Holland. Good to hear from you. And it's been quite an adventure over here. The driving is quite different. I see why a lot of Formula One drivers come from Europe. It's very different. I had somebody tell me this morning that slowing down doesn't make your car any narrower, so most people don't slow down here. And that's kind of what London was like. We had a couple of different drivers, and the first two that brought us from the airport it was an adventure. But we went last night and ate at a steak restaurant right there on the Thames River, looking at the Tower Bridge. It was very, very nice. Got to see a little bit of the sights here, and after the clinic, we're looking forward to doing some more sightseeing. I see a lot of the usual followers. If you have any questions, put it in here. I really figured I was mostly going to talk about the trip over here. I've never been to Europe before, and this is a lot of news for me. The steak restaurant we ate at last night was very good. It was different. Everything had a different flavor, and I think right down to like what we feed cows versus what the cows eat over here just gives the meat a little bit different taste, a little bit different flavor, and it's been interesting. So London is terrible. They have actually, the city itself that we saw. I live close to New Orleans, Louisiana. So I live close to a big city, and big cities are big cities. So they're kind of similar in that way. But we thought Louisiana drivers were bad. Well, if you drive in Louisiana and talk about Louisiana drivers, they can't hold a candle to London drivers. So it was pretty interesting. But one of the big things that just space concept, being from U.S., everything's bigger. There's a lot more space, and I think everything being in a smaller area here, you don't really realize it until you get over here. And I didn't have a concept of just how far one thing was from another, and we drove up here this morning, and we drove on what we would consider interstate. And it just is like being in just traffic the whole time. And I think it was the main highway running north and south in England. But you get a few miles out of a big city in the U.S. and you're gonna, it's a lot different. But it's been really nice being over here, really enjoying it, really enjoy seeing the country and meeting people. And even though sometimes got to work out the language barrier between my southern accent and their British accent, it's can be a little tough. But we're figuring it out, having a really good time. What's the difference between feed there and feed at? I really haven't even, we just got to the facility. I haven't talked to them as far as what they feed, as far as grain, hay. I think it's going to be different just because they're going to grow different grains here, and the grass is going to be different. So they're going to have a different climate, so different grains, different grasses. So it's, I don't know that one's better or worse. It's just different for the area, for the country. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Do y'all have alfalfa here?
Yeah.
You feed y'all feed a good bit of alfalfa? Yeah, I think it's probably going to be similar to more northern states. It's probably the climate's going to be more similar, so the feed is going to be more similar, and the temperature is going to be more similar. I was in Maryland a few weeks ago, and really the temperature in Maryland and the temperature here is really very similar. I think it's just so much further north here. Jory says, I drove all over northern Italy last year. Yes, they drive fast. I kind of got the idea that speed limits are optional over here. But it's just different. Sparky asked, "Who's filming you?" Did you? Yeah, Raven is here with me. I set my. Normally we film on a really nice camera with a laptop, but we travel with just my cell phone, and I'm actually just filming on the cell phone and broadcasting through there. That actually works pretty good. The only difference is you can't really pan and follow me. It's just clamped to a post back there behind me. You can't see me. And this is the arena behind me where we're going to have the clinic. Really pretty facility. There's a little garden sitting area out here to my left, and really nice lounge downstairs. Really, really nice facility. We had a tour through the barn a little while ago. There's some really nice quarter horses here, really nice bred horses. They show reining here, and a lot of Topsail Whiz, Shining Sparks, a couple of Appaloosas, really, really nice quarter horses. I don't know what we'll have in the clinic tomorrow. Probably an assortment. That's usually how my clinics go, which is good. We can all work together and just kind of work from whatever the horses have come and try to work on making them learning something and being better. That's the whole point. Mary English, bit of an odd question, but heard it recently from a person from England, wondering that if you've ever heard it, that being a horse with the base of its ears set closer together may be slower learners. I've never heard that. I think that's probably going to be more breeding than anything. A lot of Joe Cody horses have ears really close together. I know in the quarter horse world we see that with some breeds. The Cody horses tend to have ears closer together. The Peppy horses' ears are close together. So I don't think it's so much that the ears have anything to do with them being slow learners. It just happens to be those bloodlines. So they're by Pivo. I actually have a Pivo and it doesn't work. I wouldn't say it doesn't work. It doesn't always show what it's supposed to show. I have a video on YouTube that's Pivo bloopers, and it's basically my Pivo following the dust of cloud behind the horse and things like that, or I'm going one way and the Pivo's going that way. So that's been a few years ago. They might be better now, but I have not had very good luck with Pivos. I actually give video lessons with a couple people that have Pivos, and they work for a while, but they're just about always, they're going to stop. And for what I do, I can't afford it stopping. So maybe one day. How many riders are you going to have? I'm not sure. I did hear that the clinic is full. I'm not sure how many riders we're going to have. I'll get some video and some pictures and talk about it. So I'm looking forward to that. in the world. Lop ears are rumored to be very talented. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, uh, again, I think that's going to have to do with bloodlines. And I was just talking with somebody about just kind of different characteristics. Different bloodlines have certain things, and I know the quarter horse world that I'm familiar with, certain bloodlines, I know what to expect. And in the jumper world, there are a lot of crossbreeds, and in that case, you don't really have as good an idea of what to expect. And quarter horses are so variable inside the breed that a lot of times it's almost like 4 or 5 different breeds inside the quarter horse breed. And so it's gotten to where the bloodlines really tell us what the horse is. The bloodlines have almost become their own breed. Very cool that Western disciplines are becoming more popular in Europe. I believe they are, and this facility here produces some really nice reining bred quarter horses, and I think they are becoming more popular over here. And a lot of just the horse world in general, it just goes different directions. And I believe the English horse world in general, they're good horses, and you go do a thing with those horses. The Western horses are a little bit more of a using horse. You take the horse to go do a job, check the cows, check fence, that kind of thing. They're more associated with actually doing a job. And so it brings a little bit different aspect, a little bit different point of view, I guess, into the horse. And it doesn't really matter if it's a quarter horse or a warm blood. You can take the horse and do a job with the horse. I have that Pasifino at the barn that we don't see them used for working cows very much, but in South America, that's very common that you see Pasifinos moving cows and pushing cows. It just depends on what the breeds are in that area for the jobs that they have. Yeah, Dusty just posted. He's working on the clinic in Seguin, Texas. We're working on having it for the 25th through the 27th of September. He's getting that put together, and if you're interested in that clinic, you can message him. Working on getting the stalls and the RVs, everything set up. So that's going to be in September. I have this clinic here this weekend. I have a clinic in Germany next weekend. That's going to be outside of Hamburg, Germany. And then I have a clinic, I don't remember the date, in Massachusetts, the end of June. And then those clinics, and then one in Seguin, that's going to be it for the rest of this year. I limit the number of clinics that I do each year. And it's hard to be gone, like coming over here. It's hard to be gone, and because of the full load of horses that I keep in training. So I don't travel near as often as a lot of clinicians do, because I got to think about the horses that I have at home. So if you have any questions about the trip over here, put them in the comments. I really figured we was mainly going to talk about the trip over here. It's been pretty eventful. The flight was long. We flew from New Orleans to Miami, and then Miami to London. And the flights themselves weren't bad. We flew from Miami to London in a 777, so it was a big plane. Not too bad. It was I think about 7 hours or 8 hours of flying time there, so that wasn't too bad. But the plane was full, so it was just a long trip. That's really it. And then we stayed right there in London, not too far from the airport last night, and planning on doing a couple of days of sightseeing, probably up here more towards central UK, central England for the next day or two. If you're around this area and you have a suggestion of something I should go see, put it in the comments. And not sure what we're going to go sightseeing over the next couple of days. There's a couple of things I have in mind, but I don't really have a good concept of how far they are. But we're going to make the best use of our time while we're over here. Thank you, Chris, from Australia. I'd love to come to Australia and do a clinic sometime. I've never been to Australia either. I'd love to visit there. I'm talking to somebody about doing a clinic possibly in New Zealand next year. We'll see if that comes together. We've talked about that a little bit. And I enjoy doing these clinics. And basically when I go somewhere to do a clinic, it's very different than most clinics that you would go to. My clinics are more horse training oriented, horse training based. So what we go over is more the train, how we train horses. We start off depending on how green the youngest horse is, and I'll work with every horse that's there at that horse's level. Whether it's a very green horse where we're starting some basic body control, I'll work with everybody about how they should use their hands, how they should use the legs to move the horse's body around. Really, I'm really big on moving the hips around, moving the shoulders, getting some bend. We'll do some bend, counter bend exercise. Everything, all the tools that you need to advance your horse further in training. Because whether you ride English or Western or reining or cow horse or pleasure or whatever, the basic body control that you need with your horse is the same. And as you get further along with your horse, you're going to do that body control, those maneuvers to develop those maneuvers into what you're going to do. That's like a reining spin or a dressage pirouette. The basis of that starts off the same, but as it progresses, we want a little bit different higher end movement. In reining, we want the back inside foot to plant. In a counter pirouette, you want the back feet to continue moving, but the bend, the body control, the collection, the engagement from the back end all starts the same way, no matter which maneuver you're building to. So the basis of just about any maneuver you're going to ask the horse to do all starts the same way. Maybe you should go fox hunting. I was actually just talking about fox hunting with somebody, and I've been fox hunting in the States a few times and had a really good time. One thing I did, the conclusion I come to is they all have a flask on the side of their saddle, and there's a reason, because a sober person would not be doing that. You have to be have a few drinks in order to do that. But it was I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I had somebody send me a horse off the track. It had raced in Louisiana, won quite a bit of money. I think it won somewhere around 50 or 60,000. And this particular owner would, when they pull their horses off the track, they would always send them to me to try to rehome them into a different career. And this particular horse, I think he was 7 or 8 when he came to me, and he came to me like 8 days after his last race, so he was still pretty hyped up. When he came, I put him out in the pasture just to let him be a horse for a couple of days. And the way this pasture was, it was one fence, and the fence went all the way around, but it's woods around the other 3 sides. And he was standing close to the fence, not too far from the gate where I turned him loose, I think just trying to figure out what he was supposed to do. And he had been out there maybe 15 minutes, and a deer had jumped out of the woods into the pasture with him, probably 100 yards away. And he saw that deer and jumped straight up and come down on the other side of the fence. And I said, well, I got a good idea what career you need to go into. So I'd restarted him and actually started some ground poles and got him jumping pretty nice in just a few weeks. So took him fox hunting and sold him at the fox hunt. Didn't even bring him home, and ended up seeing that horse later at a big jumping show that we have on the coast, jumping for a $50,000 prize. And it's pretty nice to see a horse that had been so successful in the race world that I had a part into rehoming him into a new career that turned out to be a really good career for him, that he really excelled in. He was a really fun horse to ride. He was a distance runner. And when you ride, I've ridden quite a few thoroughbreds off the track, and distant runners are a lot different horses than short track runners. Distant runners tend to have a little bit more handle on them, a little bit they have a different mind, because sprinters, they're just sprinting. Short track racers, they're sprinting to get point A to point B as quick as they can, where distance horses have to be a little bit more efficient about it. And he was a distance runner, so he had a. I think I might be back. There we go. All right, good. Think I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I'm broadcasting off a cell phone, a little bit different than what we do at home. I think maybe lost a connection or something. So, any other questions? Great day from Florida. Nice to hear. I bet it's warm in Florida. Is there a plan for the clinic, or is it fairly well geared to individual riders and their horses? It's pretty geared towards individual. What I do is I'll look at the horses that come in and try to help each individual horse improve. We're generally going to work on some horsemanship things and ranch type stuff, but that's kind of the direction, the end goal that we're working towards. Every horse that comes in, we're going to work at whatever level they are to advance them. I'm not big. We'll work some kind of group things where we'll all work a bend or counter bend exercise or something like that. But I'm really big on trying to help everybody individually progress. So that's generally what we're going to do in the clinics, and that's generally how most of my clinics go. We'll work on some things together. That's like the bend counter bend exercise. We might all be working the bend counter bend exercise, but this horse might be working it at a different level than this horse over here. Or the same thing with a stop exercise, so that it's geared towards where the horse is at that point. Because when we're training horses, we're going to bring that horse from the level that horse is all the way through the finished horse, through the finished product, whatever we're working towards. And even though you say the bend counter bend exercise that I do, well, that exercise starts out for a beginner horse. We'll start that maneuver with a horse we'll start that with a horse just a couple of weeks under saddle. But as the training progresses, the quality of that maneuver progresses. So one horse might be doing it at one level and another horse doing it at another level. So I'm that way everybody can get the most out of the clinic for themselves and their horse. And we'll work with proper hand and leg use, like different ways you can use your reins is going to influence how your horse moves. A lot of people don't realize how much the shoulders follow the hand, and if you're pulling down here, you're putting that horse on the shoulder, which if that's what you want, that's okay. But if you need to lift the shoulders, if you have a horse that's heavy on the front end and you need to lift, you need to use your hands a little bit different so that the horse's shoulders follow your hands and get the horse round to do what you're asking the horse to do. And that's the kind of things we're going to be working on. And just as if each one of the horses in the clinic was in training, wherever they are, we're going to progress them forward, and that's what we'll work on. And that's how my clinics are different than a lot of other clinics that you'll see, you'll go to. So I think I'll end the live on that. It's kind of short, but we're going to start getting ready for this evening and meeting some of the riders that's coming in. And I appreciate everybody for joining me in on the live today. It's a little bit different. Next week we're going to be in Germany getting ready for the clinic there. So I'll plan on doing a live there also from that facility and let you see it, and we'll go from there. So until next time, thank you for watching.